Hey y'all, my name is Amelia, and along with my group members, Hunter, Bradley, and Luke, I am here today to help inform you and prepare you to include Muscatel Sherry onto your wine list here at Outback Steakhouse. Um, Make sure you pay attention because we will be having a quiz at the end, but mostly we hope you learn a lot and enjoy. For a little bit of background, Muscatel Sherry is a sweet dessert wine, and it has notes of jasmine and orange blossom. These wines are floral, fruity, sweet, and they also have a raisiny aroma, which can be bumped up even further than normally when the Muscatel Pasas technique is implemented. The vast majority of Muscatel grapes, which are what Muscatel sherry is specifically made out of. But the vast majority of these grapes that are used in this product are grown in the sandy soil next to the ocean, surrounding the town of Chipiona, which lies on the coast of Andalusia, Spain. For decades, sommeliers and wine tasters have been advocating and talking about sherry in general, in the hopes that the U.S. market will accept this product and help it fall into its niche that it can really successfully hold its own in here in the U.S. market. Unfortunately, this hasn't been the case so far, but we're really excited because your amazing team at Outback Steakhouse has had the vision to see the experience that the inclusion of this Muscatel sherry as a part of your wine list can offer to your customers. Sherry is not expensive and unapproachable like many US consumers may think, or maybe even some of you may think. We believe it can be the perfect complement to your desserts, and it will be a unique experience and beverage that your customers will truly enjoy during their time at your restaurants. So thank you for your time, and we're on to the next group member.
Key messaging. Certain things that set the Moscatel grape apart are, first of all, the region. It comes from the beautiful white sand beaches of Chipone in Spain. The grapes typically retain more water, create a little more must, and are larger in size. Moscatel grapes are sun-dried to enhance the flavors and sugars. With the approachability of the wine, it is not very expensive and is perfect to be served by the glass. The market for this wine is small, but is gradually increasing. The design of the bottle was created to conserve the taste for a few months when resting. This wine pairs well with semi-sweet pastries and pies. Challenges. When it comes to some of the challenges with this wine, the taste of it can be affected if the wine isn't proper temperature. The perception of this sherry is that it can be expensive and unapproachable because of how rich and sweet its flavors are, or the thickness of the wine can be an uncomfortable mouthfeel. Another challenge is that it has to be imported, and this can be potentially costly. The different aromas the wine has are tones of flowers like jasmine and honeysuckle, while also tones of citrus like lemon and grapefruit. The taste is moderately sweet with hints of nutmeg and floral tones, and it usually leaves a dry feeling. The awareness and popularity of sherry is pretty low in the United States, but continues to grow.
Hello, Outback waitstaff. I will be talking with you about key performance indicators, benefits, and additional considerations. As for key performance indicators, these are stats we are going to use to measure how successful our implementation of dessert wine will be. Our first key performance indicator will be growth in sales. We will simply measure our growth in sales from quarter to quarter throughout the year, before and after the implementation of Muscatel sherry wine. We will also measure the number of waitstaff total trained. Our goal by the end of the year is to train 100% of the Outback waitstaff in selling Moscatel sherry wine from Chipiona. Next, we will measure the number of customers to order dessert wine per month total. We believe this is a good metric we will be able to use to measure the effectiveness of our implementation of dessert wine at Outback. Lastly, we are going to see if there's a correlation between increase in dessert wine sales and in dessert food items. For example, a customer may not have wanted to order dessert, but now that our friendly waitstaff has recommended the Moscatel sherry wine from Chipiona, that customer now would like to order a food item to pair with their wine. Now that we have talked about key performance indicators, we will now talk about benefits. A reward system will be implemented for staff that sell the most Moscatel sherry wine. This will be with a leaderboard system that will reset at the end of every month. The top employee at the end of every month will receive a gift card from Outback for selling the most Moscatel sherry wine in their restaurant. Expert Voice is an app that we're going to use where we will create a class where employees can go and take the class on the app. They'll receive a certification, and after they receive that certification, they will be eligible for more discounts and gift cards for Outback Steakhouse. Now that we have talked about benefits, we'll move on to additional considerations. As Outback waitstaff, we need to normalize ordering dessert wine in our restaurants. The reason we need to normalize it is because right now it's not very common since we have never had dessert wine in our stores before. This means that our waitstaff will need to recommend to every eligible and of age customer Moscatel sherry wine from Chipiona after their main course. They will be able to do this using the background info and other training that they have received. You have now reached the end of key performance indicators, benefits, and additional considerations.
So now we'll be talking about serving and storing sherry wine from Moscatel. The first most important thing to note is the wine glass that you'll be using. You can either use a white wine glass or a Riedel wine glass. Riedel glasses are specifically used for sherry, and they have a larger circumference in the opening so that they give a better bouquet to consumers. The second most important thing to note is the temperature for serving this wine. You can serve sherry from 13 to 15 degrees Celsius or 55 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Moscatel pairs really well with blue cheese, pastries, and chocolate, which makes it a fantastic pairing with the chocolate thunder from Down Under, the classic cheesecake, or the salted caramel topped cheesecake. Although this is a specified dessert wine, it actually pairs really well with breakfast, lunch, and various occasions just because of the various flavor notes that it holds. Now on to story. This wine is most enjoyed 18 months after bottling. It should not be kept longer than 24 to 36 months though. Freshness is key for sherry. Another key thing to note for storing sherry is that sherry should never be stored on its side. This wine should be stored upright because of the higher alcohol content that sherry has. The cork actually, if you store it on its side, tends to degrade, which causes breakdown of the cork and disruption to the flavors that are in the wine, as well as the integrity of the holding vessel. However, the temperature strongly depends on the time of year and personal preference, but this is a general guideline to follow. This wine can also be served on ice without any degradation to the flavor, making a refreshing summer beverage. Thank you for watching this informational video. We hope you enjoyed it. Although this wine requires specific care, it is a wonderful option to offer with dessert.